Hi, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Bailey Anderson, and I'm not only excited to talk to you about LineUp AI today, but show you how it works and the benefit, as we've heard direct from our customers, for how we increase profit margins by providing restaurant operators data-driven sales forecasts and labor budgets to improve schedules. No one here is a stranger to challenges in the industry, but I want to provide context for the current challenges LineUp.ai is built to solve. With up to 30% of a restaurant's revenue going to labor costs, managers, owners, and C-suite execs need actionable data and automation to make financial decisions easier. We know the need is ever present for controlling labor costs, especially when you consider the following: employee turnover. Financial concerns, recognition, and communication are at the forefront. More efficient scheduling and communication go a long way towards helping employees earn more and feel more noticed. Restaurant managers may spend more time than needed on tasks like creating and updating schedules, labor budgeting, and looking up data for forecasts, especially demand data around events and weather. Automating these processes frees up managers to focus their attention on other business areas like upskilling employees or other managers and guest satisfaction. Industry-wide labor shortages can mean restaurants are understaffed, leading to more stressful work environments and putting strain on customer service. Creating the most efficient schedule possible is crucial to keeping employees happy, satisfied, and informed, and maintaining the team balance and team dynamic. Some laws require employees to give up to 2 weeks' notice for any schedule changes. A rising minimum wage and the cost to retain valued employees add an additional strain. Furthermore, in our research, we found that traditional sales forecasts and schedules are usually based only on historical sales, sometimes even just gut instinct, a 4-week rolling averages. These forecasts are time-consuming and can be riddled with inaccuracies. Our data indicates that the average restaurant's forecasts are off by over $1,000, more than 37% of the time. Using LineUp AI's data-driven scheduling, operators were able to avoid overscheduling, decreasing that profit loss by half in 6 months. Making labor decisions based on inaccurate data costs money. Using LineUp's technology allows you to plan with more confidence and feel prepared for anything that could walk in the door. So where does LineUp.ai fit in? We provide dynamic, automated restaurant forecasting software that uses your own historical sales by integrating directly with your POS or data warehouse. We take and learn from that data and then combine it with external factors like nearby events and weather that all affect demand. We then embed those forecasts directly within the scheduler, so you're able to see an optimal budget to schedule to. You have the forecast in context to labor decisions you're making, and then finally streamline communication with team members and frontline employees with the mobile app that allows everyone to stay on the same page about schedule and labor updates. Before we jump into the demo, it's important to highlight the why now. First of all, the explosion of new technology in the industry has generated significant new and disparate sources of data that need to be synthesized in order to be meaningful and to take meaningful action on. As we know, more information does not always equal better, but if that information requires multiple tools, systems, and windows, it's a lot harder to use that information to make decisions. We also know that new technology isn't always synonymous with easy. So as part of our work, we work in lockstep with operators, general managers, and frontline employees throughout our development process to ensure that ease of use is top of mind when using LineUp. Finally, the rapid advancement of advanced analytics like machine learning enables LineUp to detect patterns and anomalies to inform forecasts at the individual location level. Behind the scenes, we then use one platform to combine and ingest all of the data at an individual restaurant level, across the book of business, and then across the industry to better consume, understand how we can improve the models, pivot, and create new models. Our machine learning algorithm gets smarter over time, so you can feel confident in your planning as it will outsmart potential curveballs and understand your unique business better. To us, analytics are not the final product. It's our ability to help streamline decisions, to help drive towards better profitability, mitigate the risk of over or understaffing by pinpointing what to expect at each store and shift, and then using that data to help give that information to the GM in context and make those decisions easier by producing dynamic labor forecasts to optimize schedules. With that in mind, let's see it in action. Okay, so in order to, step one of using LineUp is viewing real-time sales forecasts. To show this, we'll start with one way to do that, which is creating a schedule. So here you can click into any schedule and simply begin to start building it and see the schedules at the top of the screen. Once you click into a schedule for any given week, you'll see the dynamic sales forecasts at the top. They're called dynamic because they are constantly changing and adjusting as we learn from data, external data, your sales data. Across the top here, you could see what that total is for each day. We break that down into dine-in, online, and catering. In process right now, we are working on further breaking that down by bar, delivery, drive-through, all things that we know are important to consider when building a schedule and controlling labor. We also know that the GM brings a lot of experience to the table, and we want to be able to leverage that as part of the LineUp tool. So if there's anything that a manager or operator knows that might impact sales that we might not, so a last minute promotion of some type of, item or unscheduled maintenance, for example, a GM would be able to go in here, change this number to override the sales so that we can learn from that, and that will also impact the labor that is the allotted hours that are able to be scheduled for that. As part of the schedule and context around forecasts, you also get to see benchmarks from last week, any existing orders. So if there's been a large catering order, you'd be able to see that in context of building a schedule. And then again, that weather and event data that might be impacting the schedule on a particular day. We also work with each group to come up with a customized labor allowance based on the labor equation that works for your business to target what optimal hours mean to you. So in this example, you can see labor as a % of revenue that's being targeted. We take that, embed that within our equation, and then depending on the sales forecast, provide a labor allowance that you can schedule to for both at the daily level and then up to the weekly level. So as you add a shift, which I've added one here for myself, you can see the hours start to build towards that allowance. As you make changes, so in this example, I'm going to go ahead and change this to later. It also pulls in violations so that you can be aware and help stay compliant to things like overtime. We'll notify you if you're over 8 hours a day, over 40 hours a week. We also have an employee-facing app. So if an employee submits time off or their weekly hours and that's approved, that would also show up here so that you're aware of that as you're building the schedule. Go ahead and put this back down, and we can go ahead and I will update this. Furthermore, you can more fine tune the forecast by going in and looking at the daily breakdown. So when you're clicking in to view by the day, you're able to see forecasts at the hourly level. So this purple bar at the top shows what expected sales are during each hour so that you're easily able to see what to expect during peak hours, what those expected sales are, the employee count, and then the green line here indicates what you have planned for labor so far. So as you build out more shifts in the schedule, you're able to see this line improve and go up as you add more labor. And ideally, you'll know you've optimized labor when these two lines are close and they're in alignment. From this view, you can also add more shifts. You can drag the shifts around to change the hours. You can see what you have remaining from that labor allowance, as well as still see the benchmarks, weather, events, and other data. Once you feel that you have made any changes that you'd like to for a schedule on that given week, you can also go in and look at the person view to see how hours look across all individuals that are scheduled. You've accounted for employees' time off. You can go ahead and send the schedule And this will immediately notify employees that are scheduled via text or email, whatever you have set up in the point of sale system, as well as go straight to the employee mobile app so that employees and managers can see that information on the go. Besides creating schedules, you can monitor and get real-time views of the day to make decisions. So I'll take you to the tracking page here. You're first greeted by today's predicted versus actuals, a recap of how yesterday went in terms of actuals and predicted for sales and labor. You can see a breakdown of sales by the categories. You can also see that for current day or by the week level. And then if labor seems high or low, it will show or give an indicator of that here, which you could use if you wanted to cut a person or call in someone if it's busier or slower than expected. Finally, I've mentioned this a little bit, but we do have an app for team members and managers to be able to view things like schedules on the go, submit their weekly hours, their time off, and even swap shifts with the pool if they want to release a shift and someone that works in a similar role capacity has the option to then pick it up. All of that has to go through manager approval. And then on the flip side of that, managers also have the ability to send mass messages to the team for things like reminders of holiday hours, any kind of special weather event, the store needs to close early, reminders for team meetings, things like that. Finally, you don't have to just take it from me. I included some customer testimonials for those who have attributed the value they've gained from using LineUp. So from Don Brinkman, the CEO of Cabo Bob's, LineUp's forecasts are incredibly accurate. Using LineUp has eliminated the overhead and human error that comes with using Excel for forecasting. It allows managers to spend more time serving customers. Again, to us, this is important to help with decisions and not just provide data, while also minimizing the chance of human error to allow managers to spend more time in other areas of the business. And the last one here is for Michael Shatton, Director of Operations for Carrot Express. LineUp.ai significantly dropped payroll for our 17 restaurants by about 300 basis points. Annualized, we should see a $1.1 to $1.3 million savings. We have case studies that I'd love to go in more detail on here. But again, would love for you to reach out with any further questions about LineUp, case studies, testimonials, or to have a more in-depth demo after this. Thank you so much for the time.